Stopped drinking alcohol and this is what happened. Now, if I wanted a few more views on this video, I probably would have put I quit for 300 days or whatever it was, but that would be a lie. I've had a few drinks last year, 2023, and I probably could count on one hand how many times I drank properly last year, not that many times. So this is just my experience of reducing my alcohol intake, why I quit or reduced my drinking, and my honest experience, pros and cons, so that you can make an informed decision yourself if it's something that you've been looking at as well recently. So for some context, I was previously drinking a lot, most weekends, just for the sake of it. Now this was in my early 20s. At uni I was drinking a lot, and obviously I wanted to have fun at uni and part of the party lifestyle. I don't regret that at all, really. And in my early to mid 20s I was enjoying nights out at this point, and I was going out most weekends for the sake of it, because it's something to do. But as I got towards my later 20s, I started questioning why I was still doing it. I was really unhappy with my work in my jobs that I did previously. So for some context, I'm now a personal trainer. Previous to that, I spent 6-7 years, most of my 20s, in various different finance roles, and it just wasn't a good fit for me. So it did coincide with more drinking to kind of escape the day job and what I was actually doing day to day. So with my drinking, I wasn't an alcoholic, obviously. I'm not an alcoholic, I promise you that. You'll have to believe me. But I was having drinks for the sake of it 2 or 3 times a week, maybe even more. And I just felt stressed all the time, quite anxious, felt like shit. And yeah, at a certain point you just get to the point where you think, okay, the hangovers are probably not worth it anymore. Why am I always anxious? Why am I stressed at work on a Monday or Tuesday? You know, Linda sends you an email on a Monday morning that normally wouldn't be much to deal with, and you just smash it out, and I'm there like, you know, stressed or anxious, or you feel like you've got that Monday morning fog. Now this makes sense because alcohol basically increases your baseline cortisol levels, which is a stress hormone, which in small or, you know, decent doses is fine, and we do need cortisol in the mornings, but without, you know, becoming an Andrew Huberman podcast here, because your baseline stress levels are heightened in the days after drinking alcohol, it just makes your stress levels feel higher, and day-to-day stuff that shouldn't really be stressing you out. You know, I find myself having a meltdown on a Tuesday over having to do my washing is probably a sign that something's up. So for me, it was mainly about reducing my stress. It was the main issue, I'd say, in why I stopped drinking alcohol. I'll also say at this point I had a big incentive to stop drinking, because as I transitioned into PTing, becoming a personal trainer, if you want to build a physique, build a lot of muscle and see changes in your shape, then alcohol massively hinders building muscle. It decreases the process of building muscle. It impacts testosterone levels negatively. Your sleep goes to shit. So, you know, there's a big incentive for me personally with my career change to basically move away from drinking alcohol. So I will say that, because obviously if you're not in a line of work that is massively impacted by you drinking, and you can still function in your job and you enjoy it, then, you know, there's less incentive to quit. But for me personally, I looked at the benefits versus the you know, drawbacks of quitting, and just gave it a go. What's the worst that's going to happen? If you take a break, you can always go back to it. So what did I find in my experience of reducing my alcohol intake over the last, say, 2 years? I would say biggest things I've noticed: sleep, unreal. Sleep has been amazing. I sleep pretty well in general, but I've noticed my sleep quality is way better after, you know, reducing my alcohol or not drinking as much. My stress and anxiety dropped massively. All of the stupid shit I would basically do on nights out, and the situations I'd get myself in that I started hating myself for, you know, you just stupid arguments, or, you know, like just doing stuff you wouldn't normally do when you're sober. All of that goes away, all of that noise goes away, and you feel a lot more confident and assured in yourself. So now I'm at a point where this is partly helped by my job, right? I have to talk to people day to day on the gym floor and build that confidence of talking to people sober. But I've noticed that now I'm fully confident going on a night out on the 0% beers. You get to a point where you can just train yourself to go out on the non-alcoholics. The drawbacks, I would definitely say, the honest truth is, if you completely quit alcohol, the nights out won't be quite as good. You're not going to have like a 10 out of 10 night out, you know, in Ibiza if you're not having a drink. But you're thinking of it more like a solid 7 out of 8 7 to 8 out of 10 night out, and the next day, instead of feeling like shite and it being a 2 out of 10 day and you not being able to function the next day, the benefits is that you still have a really good day the next day. So now I might be leaving the parties a little bit earlier, but it's not like you have to resort to living in a cave and not seeing your friends if you quit alcohol, right? You get to a point where you can start training yourself to just go out on the non-alcoholics. Your true mates will accept it, and people will, you might get a bit of banter at the start, people taking the piss, which is fine, but eventually you get to a point where it just becomes the norm, and I think a few more people are doing it these days anyway. So if you're getting to a point where you're really stressed all the time, you can't figure out why your sleep's terrible and you just always feel knackered, the answer may be staring you in the face. Maybe nothing more sinister is going on. You just need to take alcohol out and see what happens. Nights out, as I say, will be solid but not quite as exciting as they were before, but then you can actually function the next day. So my sleep improved, anxiety dropped massively, stress reduced, I feel way more confident as a person. I transformed my physique in the last 2 years as well, because I'm able to build muscle quicker, see quicker changes in shape. You can control your diet way better, because obviously if you have loads of alcohol, you know what it's like. The chances of me ending in a kebab shop at 2 a.m. if I'm sober is quite low. It's quite low. I'm not likely to end up in McDonald's at 2 or 3 a.m. if I haven't had any alcohol. So you are going to save a lot of calories from not drinking, and you are essentially going to be able to control your diet, sleep better, and all of that. So the benefits far outweigh the negatives of quitting, in my opinion. And now I'm at a point where I'll just save it for social events. So I'm not sober completely. I'll just wait till a holiday where I fancy a cheeky night out, into weddings. I've got big parties or big friends' birthdays, things like that. I might have a drink here and there, and I'll just pick and choose my moments. And this is way more fun, in my opinion, because then you're saving it for big social events, and you're going to enjoy it a lot more rather than just going out for the sake of it. So if you're feeling in a rut at the moment and you're just going out every weekend for the sake of it and you just feel shit, just give it a go. Take a few weeks off and then pick the next big event to do it. Do it in blocks like this. Maybe set a target or a holiday to work towards. Get yourself in shape for it. Then you can enjoy the alcohol when you go on your trip. And that's a good way of doing it. This is what I actually help my clients with on a day-to-day basis in my personal training business, my coaching business. I'm not saying don't drink completely. You can still get away with 1 or 2 and get in shape. But if you're someone that can't moderate it and you can't just keep it to 1 or 2, it may be a good idea to just take a break. And that's what I've seen. I've seen benefits for some clients doing that as well. So choose your poison. 1 or 2 here or there, or quit completely. See what happens. You can always go back to drinking more if it doesn't make any difference to you, because alcohol will affect everyone differently. Hope you found this interesting or useful in some way. If you're new to the channel and this is the first time you've seen me essentially talking about my experiences, I do all things fat loss, muscle building, mindset tips. So hit subscribe if you found this useful when you're new. Hit like, and I'll hope to see you on the next video. See you later.